Check. Whoa. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. We're going to, before our service begins, I'm going to play with the sound system a little bit because our sound system was out today, and when I came in, it's all out of whack, so you're going to hear me screaming at you. I'm going to try not to, so let's see if we can reset this a little bit. All right, let's see here. Let's see if we can... That's echoing a lot for you, isn't it? Anybody? No? Yes, no, maybe? And we'll find out. We're going to see what happens here. But, all right. Hopefully we'll get rid of some of that extra noise, and we'll get rid of some of this extra noise. All right. Let's see here. Second low there. Okay, we'll see how that does. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. I apologize for those of you at home who have no idea what I'm talking about. Our soundboard's a mess right now, so I'm trying to make it so it sounds okay. So you people at home can hear us, and everybody here in the sanctuary can hear as well. In Sidur Mishkan Tefillah, we're going to turn to page 128. In the middle of page 128, a love song of Shabbat, written in the Middle Ages, Yedid Nefesh. Yedid Nefesh Av HaRachaman, Yedid Nefesh Av HaRachaman, Mishochav El Ritzonecha, Mishochav Decha, La 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 El Ritzonecha, Yarutz Avdecha Kemo Ayal, Ishtachavei Elai La 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 el muhadarecha, Yedid Nefesh Av HaRachaman, Yedid Nefesh Av HaRachaman, Mishochav Decha El Ritzonecha, Mishochav Decha, La 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 El Ritzonecha, Yarutz Avdecha Kemo Ayal, Ishtachavei Elai La 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 El Muhadarecha. Page 129 at the very top of the page from Shir HaShirim, from Song of Songs. We read the entire book of Shir HaShirim at the time of Pesach, but we're also in the Torah reading this time of year, the cycle of Torah. We're about to leave Egypt. We'll leave tomorrow morning when we read that part of the Torah. And from that portion that we read around the time of this storytelling, this love poem again of Shabbat, we can use at the top of 129. Dodi li vani lo haroeh bashoshanim dodili vani lo haroeh bashoshanim dodili mizotola min hamidbar mizotola min hamidbar dodili vani lo haroeh bashoshanim dodili mikuteret moru levona dodili vani lo haroeh bashoshanim dodili libavitini achoti kala dodili vani lo haroeh bashoshanim dodili urit safon uvoiteman dodili vani lo haroeh bashoshanim dodili. Page 120 in your Siddur, you find the blessings for lighting our Shabbat candles. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. Page 130. We welcome Shabbat with our Psalms of praises of God, Psalm 95, Lechu neranena l'Adonai, let us sing joyfully to God. Lechu neranena l'Adonai, Lechu neranena l'Adonai. Come, let us sing a song to Adonai. Come, let us sing a song to Adonai. Lechu neranena l'Adonai. Lechu neranena l'Adonai. Naria litzur yisheinu, nikadma bana betoda. Naria litzur yisheinu, bizmirot narialo, lechu neranina, neranina ladonai, lechu neranina, neranina ladonai. Page 131, from the middle of Psalm 96. It's the bottom paragraph at the bottom of the page. Let the heavens be glad and the earth rejoice and the sea be happy. Let all of God's creation give praise for the beauty of creation. Yismechu hashamayim, Yismechu hashamayim, Yismechu hashamayim, V'tagel haaretz. Yismechu hashamayim, Yismechu hashamayim, Yismechu hashamayim, V'tagel haaretz. Yehiram hayam, Yehiram hayam, Yehiram hayam, Umelo. Yehiram hayam, Yehiram hayam, Yehiram hayam, Umelo. Yismechu hashamayim, Yismechu hashamayim, Yismechu hashamayim, V'tagel haaretz. On page 132 from Psalm 97, near the bottom of the page, Or zarua latzadik, for those who are righteous, we will be rewarded with light. Ul yishrei lev simcha, and for those of us who are good-hearted, we will be rewarded with happiness. 4 lines from the bottom of page 132. Or zarua latzadik, ul yishrei lev simcha. Or zarua latzadik, ul yishrei lev simcha. Or zarua latzadik, ul yishrei lev simcha. Ul yishrei lev simcha. Or zarua latzadik, ul yishrei lev simcha. Ul yishrei lev simcha. Lai 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 lai. Or zarua latzadik, ul yishrei lev simcha. Or zarua latzadik, ul yishrei lev simcha. If you'll read together with me at the top of page 133. Adonai is sovereign, let the earth exult, the many islands rejoice. Dense clouds are around God. Righteousness and justice are the base of God's throne. O you who love Adonai, hate evil. God guards the lives of God's loyal ones, saving them from the hand of the wicked. Light is sown for the righteous, radiance for the upright. O you righteous, rejoice in Adonai and acclaim God's holy name. Page 135, a recollection of part of the beginning of our journey through the desert that begins this week in our Torah readings. We bow down at God's holy mountain in Mount Sinai, and we try to find holiness in that place and a pathway for holiness for each and every day. That's what the message of Psalm 99 teaches us. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu v'hishtachavu lahar kodsho. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu v'hishtachavu lahar kodsho. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu v'hishtachavu lahar kodsho. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu romemu. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu romemu. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu vehishtachavu lehar kodsho. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu vehishtachavu lehar kodsho. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu romemu. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu romemu. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu vehishtachavu lehar kodsho. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu vehishtachavu lehar kodsho. If you'll turn to page 136 and 137, we come to Psalm 29, a psalm that speaks of God's power in the universe and in the world, and a psalm that teaches us about power in great ways and in very small ways as well. That we have earthquakes in this psalm that are caused by God, and we have the quivering of the flames of a candle, like our candles of Shabbat. In this week's Torah portion, we're going to be reading about the last of the plagues. We read about 7 of them last week. We're going to read about 3 of them this week. It took 10 plagues to convince Pharaoh of the power of God to let the Israelites go. Maybe Moses could have read this psalm, which talks about God's power to Pharaoh. There's only one problem with that. Anybody know the problem with that? Wasn't written yet. We've got, from Moses until we get to King David, we've got a good 11 more generations to go. So if Moses was trying to find something to read to Pharaoh to say, hey, let me tell you about God's power, this wouldn't have been it, because 11 generations between Moses and King David. If you're ever on Jeopardy and they want to know how many generations between Moses and King David, the answer is 11. That's the 11. 11 generations. How many years is 11 generations? I don't know, a couple of hundred. 200, 250 years, something like that. And so, but we'll read together in English this psalm of God's power in the universe, and then we'll sing the last couple of lines in English. A psalm of David. Ascribe to Adonai, O divine beings. Ascribe to Adonai glory and strength. Ascribe to Adonai the glory of God's name. Bow down to Adonai, majestic in holiness. The voice of Adonai is over the waters. The God of glory thunders, Adonai over the mighty waters. The voice of Adonai is power. The voice of Adonai is majesty. The voice of Adonai breaks cedars. Adonai shatters the cedars of Lebanon. God makes Lebanon skip like a calf, Sirion like a young wild ox. The voice of Adonai kindles flames of fire. The voice of Adonai convulses the wilderness. Adonai convulses the wilderness of Kadesh. The voice of Adonai causes hinds to calve and strips for a spare. While in God's temple all say glory. Adonai sat enthroned at the flood. Adonai sits enthroned, sovereign forever. May Adonai grant strength to God's people. May Adonai bestow on God's people well-being. Adonai oz le'amo yitain. Adonai yivarech et amo v'shalom. Those last 2 lines of the Hebrew on page 137. Lai, 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 lai. Lai, 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 lai. Lai, 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 lai. Lai, 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 lai. Lai, 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 lai. Lai, 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 lai. Adonai oz le'amo yitain, yitain. Adonai yivarech et amo v'shalom. Adonai oz le'amo yitain, yitain. Adonai yivarech et amo v'shalom. Lai, 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 lai. Lai, 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 lai. Lai, lai, lai. Lai 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 lai. We turn to page 138 and 139 as we welcome in the Shabbat bride with Lecha Dodi, come my friend, Likrat Kala, let us greet the bride, Pnei Shabbat Nikabla, the face of Shabbat, we'll welcome and greet. We'll sing verses 1, 2, 5, and 9 on these two pages. Lecha lecha dodi, likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nikabela. Lecha lecha dodi, likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nikabela la 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 la. Lecha dodi, likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nikabela. Lecha dodi, likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nikabela. Shamor v'zachor b'dibur echad, Hishmi'anu el hamiuchad, Adonai echad u'shemo echad, L'shem el tiferet v'letchila la 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 la. Lecha dodi, likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nikabela. Lecha dodi, likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nikabela. Likrat Shabbat lechu v'nelcha, ki hi makor habracha, merosh mikedem nesucha, sof ma'aseh v'machsheva tchila la 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 la. Lecha dodi, likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nikabela. Lecha dodi, likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nikabela. Hit'oreri, ki ba'orech u'mi'ori, uri, shir daberi, ki vod Adonai alayich nigla la 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 la. Lecha dodi, likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nikabela. Lecha dodi, likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nikabela. We rise as we face the door. We welcome in the image of the Shabbat bride. Boi v'shalom ateret bala, gam b'simcha uv'tzola, toch emunei am segula. Boi chala la 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 la. Lecha dodi, likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nikabela. Lecha dodi, likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nikabela la 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 la. Lecha dodi, likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nikabela. Lecha dodi, likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nikabela. We've greeted the Shabbat bride. We'll take a moment to greet each other. Turn to all the people around you. Wish everybody Shabbat Shalom. For those of you at home watching us on YouTube and on TempleShalom.com, Shabbat Shalom to all of you as well. Indeed. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. As we come back to our seats, we'll turn in our Siddur to page 140. Page 140, we'll come to Psalm 92, the Psalm of Shabbat. Mizmor Shir Liyom HaShabbat, let us sing a song of Shabbat. Tov lehodot l'Adonai, it is good to give thanks to God. Ulzamer l'shimcha elyon, and to sing of God's name most high. We'll join together in the beginning words of this psalm at the top of page 140. Mizmor Shir Liyom HaShabbat, Tov lehodot l'Adonai, ulizamer l'shimcha elyon, ulizamer l'shimcha elyon. Mizmor Shir Liyom HaShabbat, Tov lehodot l'Adonai, ulizamer l'shimcha elyon, ulizamer l'shimcha elyon. Lahagid baboker chastecha, ve'emunatecha ba'leilot, alei asor ve'aleina ve'lalei higayon b'chino. Mizmor Shir Liyom HaShabbat, Tov lehodot l'Adonai, ulezamer l'shimcha elyon, ulezamer l'shimcha elyon. Ki simachtani Adonai b'fo'olecha, v'ma'asei yadecha aranim. Ma gadlu ma'asecha Adonai me'od, amku machshevotecha. Mizmor Shir Liyom HaShabbat, Tov lehodot l'Adonai, ulizamer l'shimcha elyon, ulizamer l'shimcha elyon. Mizmor Shir Liyom HaShabbat, Tov lehodot l'Adonai, ulizamer l'shimcha elyon, ulizamer l'shimcha elyon, ulizamer l'shimcha elyon, ulizamer l'shimcha elyon. If you will join me, please, on page 144, as we move from our Kabbalat Shabbat into our Ma'ariv service with Chatzi Kaddish. Yitkadav yitkadash shemei Rabbah, yalmad divrach yirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon uv'yomechon, uv'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael, ba'agala ba'agala, uv'izman kahariv meru, amen. Ehei shmei Rabbah mevorach, le'olam olam me'almaya, Yitbarach, Yitbarach, Vishtabach, Vitpa'ar, Vitamam, Vitnaseh, Vitadar, Vitale, Vitalal, Shemei du Kudusha, Burichu Leilam, and Koberchata, Beshirata, Tushbechata, Vinechemata, Dahamiron Be'alma, Vimeru. Amen. We rise, page 146 for Baruch Hu, as we invite ourselves to prayer. Lai 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 lai. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach, HaMevorach Le'olam va'ed. HaMevorach, HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. We can be seated. Page 148. We give thanks for creation. We say, thank you, God. We praise you for creating the evening, for opening the gates of the heavens, arranging all of those bodies that fly through the sky according to a divine plan, moving us from night into day and day back into night, from holy into profane and profane back to holy. Praised are you, God, who brings on the evening. Ma'ariv Aravim, page 148. Yai lai 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 lai, lai 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 lai, lai lai lai, lai lai, lai 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 lai, lai 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 lai, lai lai lai, lai 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 lai. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bidvaro ma'ariv aravim. Bechokma poteach sha'arim, uvetvuna mishaneh itim, umachalif et hazmanim, umisader et hakochavim, umishmerotehem barakia kirtzonot. Lai 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 lai, lai 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 lai, lai 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 lai, lai 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 lai, lai 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 lai, lai 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 lai. Yom v'layla, golel or mipnei choshech. Choshech mipnei or, uma'avir yom umevi laila, umavdil ben yom uvein laila, Adonai tzivaot shemot. Lai 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 lai, lai 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 lai, lai 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 lai. Lai 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 lai, lai 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 lai, lai 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 lai. El chai v'kayam, tamid yimloch aleinu, le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai, Ma'ariv Aravim. Lai 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 lai, lai 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 lai, lai 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 lai, lai 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 lai, lai 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 lai, lai 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 lai. On page 150, we give thanks for the gift of Torah, for its lessons and for its pathways through life. We say that its words are chayenu, our life, the orech yamenu, and the length of our days. Baruch atah Adonai ohev amo Yisrael, for giving us the Torah. Praised are you, God, for loving your people Israel. Ahavat olam Beit Yisrael, Amcha ahavta, Amcha ahavta. Torah umitzvot, Chukim umishpatim, Otanu limadita, Otanu limadita. Al kein Adonai Eloheinu bishochveinu kumenu nasiach b'chukecha ונשמח בדברי תורתך ובמצוותיך לעולם ועד. כי אם חיינו באורך ימינו ובהם נהגה יומם ולילה, נהגה יומם ולילה. ואהבתך אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים. ברוך אתה אדוני אוהב עמו ישראל, אוהב עמו ישראל. Page 152 and 153 will join together in the words of Shema. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad Baruch Shem Kivod Malchuto Le'olam va'ed. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha B'chol levavcha v'chol nafshecha V'chol meodecha Ve'hayu advarim ha'ele Asher anochi mitzavecha Hayom al levavecha V'shinantam levanecha V'dibarta abam V'shivtecha b'veitecha Uvlechtecha v'derech Uvshochbecha uvkumecha Ukshartam le'od al yadecha V'hayu l'totafot beinenecha Uchtavtam al mezuzot beitecha Uvish'arecha Leman tizkeru v'asitem et kol mitzvotai V'yitem kedoshim le'elohechem Ani Adonai Elohechem Asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim liot lachem Elohim Ani Adonai Elohechem Adonai Elohechem Emet. We come to our prayer of Geulah, our prayer of redemption. We read responsively on page 157. In a world torn by violence and pain, a world far from wholeness and peace, give us the courage to say, Adonai, there is one God in heaven and earth. From bondage in Egypt we were delivered. At Sinai we bound ourselves to your way. Though our failings are many and our faults are great, it has been our glory to bear witness to our God, keeping alive in dark ages your vision of a world redeemed. And as our ancestors sang, we sing as well. As we turn to page 158, the words of Michamocha. Ya lai lai la lai 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 ya lai lai la lai 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 ya lai 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 ya lai 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 lai. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi chamocha ne'edar b'kodesh, Norah tehilot osei fele, Norah tehilot osei fele. Malachutecha ra'u v'anecha, Okei hayam lifnei Moshe u'Miriam, Ze Eli anu ve'amru, Ze Eli anu ve'amru, Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed, Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed. Ya lai lai la lai la 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 la. Ya lai lai la lai la 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 la. Ya lai 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 la ya lai lai la la. Ya lai lai la ya lai lai la la. V'ne'emar ki fada Adonai et Yaakov u'go'alo mi'ad chazak mimenu Baruch atah Adonai Go'al Yisrael. Praised are you, Adonai, the Redeemer of Israel. Page 160. Lie us down, God, in peace, and cause us to rise again tomorrow to life, and spread over us a shelter of your peace, over us, over your people Israel, over Jerusalem, and over all the world. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom v'hamidenu shomreinu l'chaim. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom v'hamidenu shomreinu l'chaim. The three indented paragraphs, or 3 lines. Ushmor tzeitenu Uvoenu L'chaim u'shalom Me'tave Adolam. Lai la lai 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 la lai lai la lai 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 la lai lai la lai 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 la lai lai la lai 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 la lai lai la lai 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 la lai lai la lai 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 lai. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom v'hamidenu shomreinu l'chaim. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom v'hamidenu shomreinu l'chaim. Shomreinu l'chaim, Shomreinu l'chaim, Baruch atah Adonai, Haporei sukat shalom aleinu, ve'al kol amo Yisrael ve'al Yerushalayim. Page 162. When Moses was on the mountain collecting all the laws to bring to us, God gave Moses one more reminder. Tell the people of Israel that they should watch over the Shabbat. It will be a sign between me and all of them for all of time. In 6 days, God made the heavens and the earth, and on the 7th day, Shabbat vayinafash, God ceased from all of the work and took time to find a way to refresh our souls, and we find a way to refresh our souls as well. Veshameru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat lidorotam, ve'rit olam b'ni uvein b'nei Yisrael oti le'olam. Ki Sheshet Yamim Asa Adonai Et HaShamayim Ve'et Haaretz U'v'yom Hashvi'i Shabbat Shabbat Vayinafash Shabbat Shabbat Vayinafash Shabbat Shabbat Vayinafash Shabbat Shabbat Vayinafash. Page 164, we rise for the Amidah. I know we have some guests in the room tonight, and we know we have some people who may not have been in a synagogue for a while, so just a little reminder for ourselves, our Amidah goes from page 164 through page 181. On the even-numbered pages are the traditional prayers, both in Hebrew and in transliteration and in translation. On the odd-numbered pages are not translations, but poetry on the theme of each of the traditional paragraphs that come along the way. We will sing together on the even-numbered pages, page 164 through 170. And then after that, take your time in your own way to either say the prayers in the Hebrew or the English on the following pages all the way through 180 and 181, or take time for your own private prayers, your own conversation with God. When you finish with your silent prayers, you can be seated. We begin now together, page 164. Adonai sifata tiftach ufi yagita hilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avoteinu v'Imoteinu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'konei Hakol, V'zocher Chaste Avot v'Imahot, Umevi Geula Livnei V'nehem, L'ma'an Shmo Be'ahava, Melech Ozer Moshiach U'Magen, Baruch Atah Adonai, Magin Avraham Ve'ezrat Sarah, Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai, V'chaye HaKol Atah Rav Lehoshia, Mashiv HaRuach U'morid Haga Hashem, Mechakel Chayim Bechesed, Mechaye HaKol Berachamim Rabim, Somech Noflim Verofei Cholim, Umatir Asurim, Umekayem Emunato, Lishenei Afar, Micha Mochach Baal Gevurot, Umido Melach, Melech Memit, Umechayei, Umatmiach Yeshua, V'ne'emanat halachayot hakol, Baruch atah Adonai, Mechayei hakol, Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, U'kedoshim b'chol yom yahalelucha selah, Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh. page 178 in your Siddur. A prayer for peace. Shalom Ra al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Ra al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Ki atahu melech adon lechol hashalom. Ki atahu melech adon lechol hashalom. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. V'tov b'einecha levarech et Amcha Yisrael bechol heit uvechol sha'ah b'shlomecha. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam. We take a moment to think of those who are in need of healing. We ask God to bring refuah shlema, complete healing, bimhera v'yameinu, and may it come quickly to Genendel Batsima, Fran Hart, Aharon ben Avraham Vasara, Stanley Sachs, Lisa Stark, Rose Dymek, Lucas Bartelt, Janice Broder, Malka Batsara, Lisa Lead, Merle Haber, Shoshana Batilana, Barala Yaakov ben Avraham Shalom, Margaret Patrick, Lynn Severson, Sheila Bicole, Sidonia Bennett, Susan Schenk, Reuven ben Shlomo Mordechai Tzipora, Rachel Howell, Trudy Ishbitz-Brodsky, Ron Maxwell, David Zimmerman, Kathy Twerdock, and Jeannie Tischler. Do you have any other names that anybody would like to include for prayers of healing? We'll start on this side of the room. Go ahead, yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Any others on this side of the room? Names for healing over here? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Any others? For all those we've named, for all those in need, page 371, in the middle of the page, we ask God to bring healing to each and every one of them as we sing together. Mi sheberach avoteinu mikor habracha le'imotenu. May the source of strength, who blessed the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Mi sheberach imotenu mikor habracha le'avotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. This week we read from Parashat Bo. As we mentioned a little bit earlier, this Torah portion has the last three of the plagues and the beginning of our journey out of Egypt toward our wandering in the desert. And it leads to a question, which is a question of math. How many Israelites left Egypt? Which is a different question than how many people left Egypt. Or is it? Because the Torah tells us this. The Torah tells us how many people left Egypt. Anybody know? Anyone? I heard 600,000. We're close. Anybody want to add to that? Not that much. Just add a little bit to it. 600,000. Anybody want to add? I don't know. Take a guess. Add 3,000 to that. Anyone? We're very close now. Would anybody like to add 500 more to that? It's 603,550 is what the Torah tells us. It says that many Israelites left Egypt, except that's not how many left Egypt, because the Torah tells us that's how many Israelite men of military age left Egypt. 603,550. They counted them all. The Torah will count them out by every single tribe, by every single family unit. It's a really long Torah portion. We will read that one with lots and lots of names and lots of numbers. So 603,550 men of military age, which is between the age of, the Torah doesn't exactly tell us, but we think it's between somewhere around like 20 and 60. That was men of military age in ancient times. Maybe it was 15 to 65, or maybe it was 18 to 53. Somewhere around 20 and somewhere around 60 is the age bracket. Then a little while longer in the Torah, 2 chapters later to be specific, it tells us that 603,550 men is really actually not the right number, because in addition to those 603,550 men, there were 22,000 Levites who left with them. They weren't counted in the 603,550. So now we're up to 625,550. And then it gives us another, in this week's Torah portion, another number of people who left Egypt. And that exact number is a multitude. It's a very specific number, a multitude. I asked someone with a PhD in math to give me that exact number, and that person told me, taking that number out of the Torah with the 603,550 plus the 22,000, a multitude means somewhere between 2 and 5 million. So somewhere between 603,550 Israelites of males who are between the ages of roughly 20 to 60, another 22,000 Levites, plus their wives, plus their children, plus the elderly, plus a multitude of others left Egypt. 2 to 5 million people left Egypt. And yet archaeology has no trace of any of them in the Sinai desert. But we have stories of them in the Torah. And we have stories about the 603,550 men who left Egypt, because at the end of the 40 years of wandering in the desert, we're going to count them again, and we're going to find out that it's almost the exact same number. It's within 1,000. And we're also going to find out that the Levites, it's around 22,000 Levites at the end of the 40 years. They're all totally different because the one generation died off and the new generation came. But what it never tells us about in the Torah are the multitudes of others who joined them. Now, some of the medieval commentators tell us that the multitude of others meant their wives and their children and the elderly. But Rashi, who I think in this case is more correct, Rashi would tell you he was always correct. I'll tell you that in this case I agree with him more than the other medieval commentators. Rashi says the multitude of others were not Jews. They were other people who came with the Jews out of Egypt. And why did they leave Egypt, Rashi said? Rashi says they left Egypt because they were outsiders. They weren't considered to be real Egyptians. They felt that they were the unwanted of society, and they thought they would have a better life if they left with the Israelites. So, who were the multitudes of others who left? The Torah doesn't tell us. But I have my guesses as to who they were. I think that they were the homeless. I think that they were the LGBTQ community. I think they were the people who were other. You know, they didn't have the same skin color as those who lived in Egypt. They were those who grew up speaking a different language. They were those who perhaps believed in a different God. They were the people that the normative society didn't accept. But when the Israelites left Egypt, they not only went with themselves, but the Israelites invited others to come with. The Torah doesn't tell us this, but thinking about it does. When the Israelites left Egypt, they said to everyone who said, if you're a slave or if you don't fit in, come with us. Because we are going to build a better society in the land of Israel. Don't stay here and be a slave in Egypt. Don't stay here and be an other in Egypt. Come and be part of us. How do I know they said this? I'm certain they did, because a little bit later on in the Torah tells us that God gave us the Torah directly from God, quoting to Moses. God says to Moses, I give you this Torah for you, the Jewish people, and for all the others who will dwell among you. So it's clear that the Israelites didn't leave on their own. They brought all the others who will dwell among us and said, Bo, it's the name of this week's Torah portion. And in Hebrew, Bo is a command form of the verb come. Come with me. Come with me and we'll leave slavery. Come with me and we'll leave this terrible place. Come with me and we'll go to a land that is better not just for us, but for you as well. And some of you will understand this and some of you will have to explain it. We'll go to a land where you and me can be free to be you and me. How many people in the room understood that? How many people in the room had no idea what I'm talking about? You need to study the 1970s more. Look up Free to Be You and Me with Marlo Thomas. You'll see you'll understand the words I just said. They're the lyrics to the theme song of the great TV special that happened like 50 years ago, I think is when it was, something like that. No, Denny, it was that long ago. Denny's like, I swear it was only like 4 years ago. I'm not that old. 10 years ago. It was, I'll look it up later. I promise you it was 50 years ago. But the Israelites said, not that far off from Marlo Thomas's quote, Bo, come with us. Not only if you're an Israelite, but if you're one of the people the Egyptians have made to be an outsider, come with us and be part of our new place, our new land, our new society. Imagine if we said the same thing today throughout our society. If you're the outsider, come with us. Be part of what we're building to make a better society, a better place. Leave behind the place where there's slavery. Leave behind the place where there's prejudice. Leave behind the place where there's hatred. And come with us. Find light in the Torah, and then help us shine that light into the world. We're not all that far away from Pesach. As a matter of fact, we're even closer now to the holiday of Tu B'Shvat. It starts Wednesday night. It's the New Year of the Trees. you have time between now and Wednesday. Here's what I want all of you to do. Go to the store. None of the stores have paid me any money, so I'm not naming any stores. Go buy some parsley seeds. Plant them in some dirt on Thursday, because Tu B'Shvat starts Wednesday night. So plant them Wednesday night or Thursday morning. Plant some parsley seeds. Put them in a window where they'll get lots of sunlight, and water them. And when Pesach comes, you won't need to buy parsley from the store, because from Tu B'Shvat to Pesach, your parsley will grow enough that you'll have parsley for Pesach. When the Israelites left Egypt, they planted seeds of freedom, not only for themselves, but for all of the people that came with them. So on this Tu B'Shvat, the week that we read about leaving Egypt, plant some of your own seeds, and then celebrate the freedom that you can use those seeds for, because they'll be the seeds of your parsley that you have at your Pesach Seder when we celebrate that freedom. Amen. We're going to bring our service to a close with some of our closing prayers, beginning on page 586 at the bottom of the page, as we'll rise for Aleinu. Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, לתת גדולה ליוצא בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא, שהוא נוטה שמים ויוסר הארץ, ומושב יקרו בשמים ממעל, ושכינתו זו בגובה מרומים, הוא אלוהינו אין עוד, אמת מלכנו אפס זולתו, ככתוב בתורתו, וידעת היום בהשבות אל לבביך, כי אדוני הוא האלוהים בשמיים ממעל, ועל הארץ מתחת אין עוד. על כן נקבל. כי המלכות שלך היא עולמי תמלוך בכבוד, ככתוב בתורתך, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, ונאמר, והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד, ושמו echad. We can all be seated. Before we say our Kaddish Tom, Mourner's Kaddish, which you'll find on page 598, just to make some of you in the room feel old, 8 weeks from this upcoming Monday will be the 50th anniversary of Free to Be You and Me on ABC TV. There you go. In our yard sites this week, we recall the memories of Evelyn Levitt, Leona Dumont, Goldie Tokaris, Victor Goodstein, Dr. Martin Elston, Harry Goodstein, Joseph Waller, Raheel Palazzi, Sam Goldstein, Cheryl Dumont, Joseph Fabry, Norman Cohen, Carolyn Hyman, Faye Thompson, Frida Levin, Jack Weber, Benny Sturkowski, David Blumenstein, David Kirschenbaum, Emma Abrams, Chaim Resnick, Helene Devine, Kana Mednikoff, Marcos Tokaris, Sid Kravitz, Doris Miles, Esther Gordon, Frida Mussman, Hannah Black, Harry Frank, Jacob Hadesman, Phyllis Crawford Michelson, Robert Solomon, Sam Galoff, and Stephen Crespin. We also take note of the recent death of Tehila Oxenhandler, mother of David Oxenhandler. The funeral was earlier this week in Virginia. And we also note in our community the death of Mr. Mitchell Bart, whose funeral I did about 4 hours ago at Pikes Peak National Cemetery. His family is with us as well. Are there any other yard sites that anyone is observing this week? Thank you. Any others? Yehi zichronam levracha, may their memories be an eternal blessing. We ask mourners to rise and those whose custom it is to stand with them. Page 598, as in their memory, we sanctify God's name. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah. Ba'alma divra chirute v'yamlich malchute. B'chayechon u'vyomechon u'v'chayei d'chol Beit Yisrael. Ba'agala u'izban kari v'imru amen. Yehi shmei rabbah mevorach le'olam olmei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yithadar v'yit'aleh v'yithalal shmei d'kudisha b'richu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata. Tushbechata v'nechemata. T'amiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehi shalama rabba min shamaya. V'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav. Huya aseh shalom. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. We can all be seated before we bring our service to a close. We have a few announcements. Who's got our announcements? Maggie's got our announcements this evening. A few things that you should know about stuff coming up in the very near future here at Temple Shalom and in our community. In the extremely near future, like yes. Tomorrow and Sunday.
Yes. Good evening, Shabbat Shalom. If you are new or visiting Temple Shalom for the first time, please don't forget to holler and let us know that you're here so we can welcome you properly. Don't forget to come closer to us if you are new and visiting, because we would love the opportunity to welcome you properly. As always, thank you, Rabbi Jay, for the light and the darkness that you give us all after what some of us have had a rough week. I'm sure everyone has had challenges on some level. Let's see. Support Temple Shalom with increased security expense. As you've noticed, we have 2 security guards instead of our usual 1. We are still trying to cover that particular increase in expense. So if you feel so moved, please do not hesitate to go onto the website, templeshalom.com, and donate if you would like to do so. The ONEG Mavens, of which I am one, are looking for people to add. So if you come on a regular basis or intermittently or at all, and you would like to contribute to the wonderful snacks, beverages, what have you, after services on Fridays and Saturdays, we would love to have you. Please contact the office and you'll be able to sign up.
For those of you who are watching at home, now that I turn my mic on, you'll be able to hear me at home. If you're at home and you want to sponsor an ONEG, you can send us a check and we'll buy stuff with it, and then we'll tell everybody that you bought it. So even if you don't come,
yes, you
can be an ONEG maven.
And we will appreciate you either way. Some events to look forward to this month. Tomorrow is Israeli dancing, Havdalah, and desserts. 4:30 with Havdalah. After the dancing, around 6 p.m. I believe that registration has closed, so if you are attending, please remember to come in. It's going to be a great time. The Jewish film series is back. The first event is Sunday, January 28th at 4:30. Registration is $10 per person. There's discussion, wine, and cheese after the viewing of the short films. So please attend, because it's a good time. The sponsorship of the series is available. Please contact the office if you would like to sponsor the program or any programming that we have at Shul. The program committee On Sunday, February 4th, we'll be doing chamber music concert. Performers include some of the actual temple members from here. So please sign up and come support other members of the shul. That would be absolutely wonderful. I know that they would enjoy it, and of course, it's going to be a fantastic evening. So that would be a great thing to do for others. The concert starts at 3 p.m. Admission is $10 per adult attendee, and there will be post-concert delights, which I believe also is AKA for snacks. The lunch club is currently on hiatus in January. Food, Friends, Fiber, and Fun will continue to meet every Wednesday, noon to 1:30. Bring your own food and your own projects. It's a time to hang out, get to know everybody, and generally schmooze. If you know any temple members who are ill, hospitalized, suffering a loss, please do not hesitate to call the office. That is an opportunity for us to reach out and help build our community and make everyone feel welcome, especially during times when they may feel isolated and alone. So please reach out. And as a reminder, you are able to register in advance on templeshalom.com. That does help our security personnel, so there's not a slowdown at the door, as that can be a security risk. So we appreciate when you register online. Thank you to Ellie and Ron Solomon for sponsoring and providing our oneg this evening. Shabbat Shalom, y'all. Oh, I'm sorry. That's my fault. Alan.
We'll welcome Alan. Alan just arrived back from volunteering in Israel very recently, like this afternoon. He arrived back from Israel.
Just a moment of your time, please. On Monday afternoon, I was privileged to sit and drink tea with Muhammad. He made the tea. We were sitting in Rahat, Israel, which is not very far from the Gaza envelope. On October 7th, Muhammad was called early in the morning by a cousin of his who was fleeing from a pursuing band of murderous terrorists from a music festival nearby there. He jumped in his car with his sons and other relatives and drove overland. It was a Jeep. He drove overland to rescue not only the cousin that had called him, but to rescue other people who were stranded, hiding in bushes. He would call them and he would say, "Put out your hand, let me see your hand," and he would know where to pick them up, and he would drive them back to safety. This was before the military had stabilized the situation and had had a chance to arrive. I was privileged to sit with him and hear this story. Thank you for letting me tell you about it. Am Yisrael Chai.
Thank you, Alan. For those of you, by the way, I should add to the story, for those of you who are unfamiliar with the city of Rahat down in the desert in Israel, Rahat is a Bedouin community. It's not a Jewish community in Israel. It's a Muslim Bedouin community that they're Israelis and they're part of Israeli society. And so when you hear stories about the fight between Israelis and Palestinians, there is no fight between Israelis and Palestinians. There's a fight between Israelis and a terrorist group called Hamas. And the Bedouins were attacked the same as the Jews who lived on the kibbutzim in the desert. And fortunately, there are wonderful stories like the one that Alan shared with us that saved a lot of lives. There were a lot who were killed on that day, but there were a lot of lives saved because of those stories of Jews and Muslims and Christians working together to save lives. So, Alan, thank you for joining the others from our congregation who went on this trip with Jewish Colorado and for sharing the story with us. We're going to finish our service on page 625, that's what it's going to be. If you turn to page 825, that'd be impressive because there is no page 825. 625, that'll be good. 625, and since we're talking about Israel, a little melody written in the land of Israel. Adon Olam, Hashem Alach, B'terem Kol, Yitzir Nivra, Le'ed Nasa, וחפצו כל, אזי מלך, שמו נקרא, ואחרי ככלות הכל, לבדו, ימלוך נורא, והוא היה, והוא הווה, והוא יהיה בתפארה. אדון עולם אשר מלך בטרם כל יציא נברא לעת נשא בחפץ הכל, אזי מלך שמו נקרא, ואחרי ככלות הכל לבדו ימלוך נורא, והוא היה והוא הווה, הוא יהיה בתפארה. אדון עולם אשר מלך בטרם כל יציא נברא לעת נשא בחפץ הכל, אזי מלך שמו נקרא, ואחרי ככלות הכל לבדו ימלוך נורא, והוא היה והוא הווה בתפארה, והוא היה והוא הווה בתפארה. והוא אחד ואין שני, להמשילו, להכבירה בלי ראשית בלי תכלית, ולא העוז והמשרה. והוא אלי וחי גואלי וצור חבלי בעת צרה. והוא ניסי ומנוס לי, מנת כוסי ביום אקרא. בידו אף קידוחי בעת ישן בעירה, ועם רוחי קביעתי. אדוני לי ולא יירא. אדון עולם אשר מלך בטרם כל יציא נברא לעת נשא בחפץ הכל, אזי מלך שמו נקרא, ואחרי ככלות הכל לבדו ימלוך נורא, והוא היה והוא הווה, והוא יהיה בתפארה. אדון עולם אשר מלך בטרם כל יציא נברא לעת נשא בחפץ הכל, אזי מלך שמו נקרא, ואחרי ככלות הכל לבדו ימלוך נורא, והוא היה והוא הווה בתפארה, והוא היה והוא הווה בתפארה, והוא היה והוא הווה בתפארה. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. To those of you joining us on TempleShalom.com live and YouTube, Shabbat Shalom and good night to all of you. The rest of us will meet you in the back for Kiddush and Motzi. אדון עולם אשר מלך בטרם כל יציא נברא לעת נשא בחפץ הכל, אזי מלך שמו נקרא, ואחרי ככלות הכל לבדו ימלוך נורא, והוא היה והוא הווה, והוא יהיה בתפארה. אדון עולם אשר מלך בטרם כל יציא נברא לעת נשא בחפץ הכל, אזי מלך שמו נקרא, ואחרי ככלות הכל לבדו ימלוך נורא, והוא היה והוא הווה בתפארה, והוא היה והוא הווה בתפארה, והוא היה והוא הווה בתפארה.